Hello everybody, I'm Martin Espino, and let me just talk to you real quick about what we're going to do. This is video number 2. You're going to see 5 of them. And I want to tell you that this is presented to you by the Arts Council for Long Beach and everybody else who supports it. And we thank the Long Beach City School System for having us come to you and give you the education and shed a little light where there might be some darkness. I don't know. My name is Martin Espino. I'm a seasoned performer and teacher, instrument maker since 1966. I started studying all the native instruments back in 1975. I couldn't find anybody to help me back then. There was no internet. Yeah, I don't believe that, right? And basically, in a nutshell, we have a very short amount of time to get to know 60,000 years of culture. This is a little program I designed about ancient California. I have different reasons why I did it. Now, I want to tell anybody who's super knowledgeable in the area that I'm not trying to be exactly like saying, I'm not telling you this is how it sounded. I'm going to use the research that I did, which is very good, and I'm going to do some recreations like I did right now, combining the different instruments that existed. I know musicians. I've been one for 53 years. The second we start getting good at what we do, what do? We start to show off. When we start to show off, we start to make things up. They call it improvising. And when you start improvising, sometimes you go, I like that idea. And you start remembering it. And you tell your friends. And someone else says, I like that idea. I'm just guessing at this, right? And let's say everybody likes your idea so much, it becomes a song. Songs are created. Oh, I'm sorry. They're improvised. They have to be, that's what improvisation is. It creates. That's why I'm going to do improvisation. That's why I'm going to create. I'm going to send these instruments off to another level in a different place. By improvising. That means making it up. But basing it on research. Okay? Well, let me tell you about me real quick. Like I said, I'm a teacher. I'm a performer first, 53 years, since 1966. And since 75, I've been studying North, Central, and South America. My specialty is the music of my ancestors, ancient Mexico. And I've built over 70,000 instruments, and I go to schools, museums, libraries, festivals. I tour nationally and internationally. Music for everything. Film everything you think a musician should do. That's what I've done. Good stuff. And I'm really proud of heritage and ancestry, things in your past. Everybody comes from some long space and time in history, and we all have some culture. You might say, yeah, I'm born here, but I'm going to go, yeah, but where are your ancestors from? Korea, India, Germany, Israel, I don't know, Mexico. So I am here to not just say, this is ancient California, this is what they did. I'm here to hold a mirror and say, this is what the ancient Californians did. Look in the mirror, find out who you are, investigate your culture, investigate your foods. That way you have a more understanding and respect of other people. Let me show you some of the instruments. I'm here to demonstrate them, okay? I'm going to play just one right now. The very first instrument we should talk about is the voice. And they sang in different languages. It wasn't all in one language. I really love it when I go to schools and I'll talk to 3rd, 4th graders, even 6th graders, and I'll go, Spanish and English were not in the Americas. That means North, Central, and South America. What language was here before Spanish and English? English? Do you hear what I'm saying? What language was here before then? The Native American languages. It's a whole bunch of different ones. That's a really good way to say it, Native American. Native means something that's been in one spot for thousands of years, and it's developed and turned into something. So I'm going to play native instruments. Are you native? No. Then if you're not, that means you're not from this earth. You're from Jupiter. Everybody's native. Everybody's indigenous. It doesn't mean just the Indians. Long time ago, people used that word, the Indians, and I go, well, now we understand it a little better because we have some friends from India. So I always say, Indians are from India, the Native Americans are from here. And let's talk, like I said, about the voice. They use different languages. I've done some discovering and some research and found that this part of California, Southern California, 20% or something like that, at least of it's based in Uto Nahua. I'm not going to give too much history, but this is for teachers, which is the language that the seeds that eventually went down to Mexico and turned into, or maybe came up this way, and turned into the classical language called Nahuatl, spoken by the Aztecs. And we use a lot of those words in our everyday vocabulary. Coyote, coyote, tomato, tomat, chili, those are all Nahuatl words, and we use them. So they speak a language based in Uto Nahua. So you know they use voice, right? All kinds of different singing. We don't know exactly how they sing. They could have closed their throats, and they could have done all kinds of things and done cool things. But I'm going to show you another instrument. There's only 4 instruments in the world. 4. Voice. The next one's strings. The bow and arrow. This is no longer a tool for hunting. I like to ask people, as long as we're talking about music, what's this for? A lot of my kids go hunting, but we never get the answer exactly right. The answer is for staying alive. This gets you the food. Do you guys like fast food? Hey, you go to a restaurant, you go, here's $5, here's a hamburger, boom, fast. Well, a long time ago, the fast food used to do this, or would fly. Fast food has 2 legs, 4 legs, fins, or wings, and this was to get fast food. There it goes. I got it. Fast food. Every time you shoot an arrow, you hear this. Everybody has always heard dong, dong for thousands of years. Who knows where this came from? Let me play it for you. Hey, it's not loud. So they use a calabaza or a pumpkin plant to make it louder. Much like the guitars you see now, where there's a hole in the middle, or the violin. That's something I surmise myself. Take the tip of the arrow and use it as a guitar pick. Take the arrow and put horsehair on it or some other kind of hair and do the violin. You can see where all these instruments came from. This wonderful tool that belongs in the kitchen. Why the kitchen? Because that's how you got food. Traditionally in Mexico, it's played with the arrow. So I'm going to play it in the old style. There's several different kinds. There's the struck bow, and there's also the mouth bow. Let me play it for you. If I take the gourd off, because sound travels through the string, through the bow, and vibrates in here, and the sound comes out the hole. That's why guitars have sound bodies. That's why violins and guitars all have sound holes. Interesting, huh? That's the only string instrument they had in all North, Central, and South America. Guitars and violins were later brought over by the Spaniards in the 1500s. And so the next family, besides voice and stringed instruments, and there was a mouth bow. They would put a little bow in their mouth and go, very tiny guy. It's being fixed right now, so I can't show you. Next family is percussion. Things that you hit, scratch, or make some kind of a noise, okay? Percussion means to hit. Listen. I'm not hitting it, but when I move it, the seeds slam against the wall and they make a sound. So it's like a last name. Let's see, his first name is Seed Pod. His last name is Percussion. Why? Because it makes a hitting or a noise sound. Sea kelp. These are plants from the ocean, or seaweeds as they call them. These are real big ones. These are from Point Reyes. We're near San Francisco. Check it out. They came up during a storm because when the water's rough, the plants are underwater going like this, and they break off and wind up on the shore. I have to play it like this because the stones will fall all the way down to the bottom. These are hollow. These are bubbles that lift the plant up from the ocean floor. And what the natives did, the California natives, they put rocks in there. I put seashells because since I was at the beach, then I plug it with a piece of wood and saw it off and tie it with a string. Easy rattle. Looks like somebody's, I know, but it has the same hair. And so we have a cool sea kelp rattle or seaweed rattle. Also things like deer horns. These are from baby deer. Oh no, they hurt the baby deer. No! Just like you guys, I love going to schools because I always hear this, right? I go, what falls off of you when you're young? You know what my students all say? They go, your hair? Yeah, Martin? Your skin? I go, what? And nobody guesses it. Your teeth. A tooth falls out. Then you get your adult teeth. Baby deers, these fall off the baby deer. They're called drop horns. You can use them by hitting it. They used everything. That's what all of our ancestors did. One time I saw something in a book that said, because they were so poor, they used what was there. And that's a really bad way of looking at it. The best way of looking at it is that people all over the world, including your ancestors and mine, they looked what was in nature, and if it made a sound, it was an instrument. Hey, I got an instrument, cool. I've got an instrument, cool. See how it works? This is where we get into some funny things about how we think nowadays. Oh, it's a bone, how weird. And I'm going, wait a minute. Don't you have bones? Ugh, gross, I've got a bone in there. It's natural. We're taught right now by these television and everything that think, oh, it's gross and it's nasty and ugly. And then yet when we're at Thanksgiving, we're busy going, oh, I'm eating that turkey. I like to say, we're eating that bird. What? Turkey's a bird? What do you think it is? I love the logic that we have now. We have to get close to nature. We have to realize we're part of nature. These things are made for eating, and I have to talk about this with food, because a lot of this is recycled from the animals that we're living, right? Oh, it's cruel to be, no, this is natural. This is what's happened over thousands and thousands of years. They didn't argue about it. They were hungry. So they got the deer, and it's one of the best meats to get. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, but you're going to go get a hamburger? So we have to make a relation, okay? Anyway, coyote bone and deer bone from the leg. And I put notches in it and made a scratcher. They also used other things like seashells, getting a mussel and putting seashells in it, I tied it with a piece of deerskin because that's what leather is. It's very quiet, you can barely hear it. But if you have 20 or 30 of these, it sounds really cool. So next time get a seashell that's the same size and put some rocks in it, small ones, not big ones. And put a few, don't put a whole lot. In our culture, we're taught if it's a lot, it's better. No, it isn't. Less is more. And then you can get them and go, what do I put them together with? Get a rubber band. Wrap it in tape. Do something, and you can shake it. Pretty cool, huh? This, it's an apple. No, it's not an apple. It's a pumpkin plant, just like this guy is. I took out the seeds, and I painted him red inside our rocks. These are percussions. One of the most important percussions, the most popular one was the clapper stick. And you hit it on your hand. Our first class, we built one. I could go to your school and we could build a clapper, but you can also get these materials. Look at video number 1, it shows you how to make them. And I also come to schools and do that. So the clapper stick is made of elderberry, and it's the same thing as hitting your hand. You're not hurting your hand. I'm hitting it right here where there's no fingers. What if I hit it here? No, hit it right here where it's safe. You don't hit your wrist. This is the electric guitar of California, and it was everywhere. Of course, trees are everywhere, so we know this instrument existed all over the world. We have to think that we can't think, oh, it's only from California. It's from all over. So those are the percussions. Notice what's missing. What instrument do you hit that you all know? A drum. They might play some drums now, but it's traditional to play mostly the rattle. They have not, the California natives are still here. They dress like me and you, that's why you don't recognize them. But they're not all using the sea kelp rattles. They're not all using all these. These were researched and copied. I copied nearly everything that they have. I had to make all these. And what they're using right now is gourds. The gourds are usually bigger. When you go on YouTube, look up California bird song, California bird singers, bird song of California. Why do they say bird? Because they believe that their songs are just as beautiful as the birds. Ancient California, people have been here for some 40, 50, 60,000 years. Not the big lie that they got here 13,000 years ago. That's the Clovis theory. But we're not going to get into that. I just want to let you teachers know that. There's a lot of wrong information in the books. We have guessed pretty much by recent excavations that people have been here at least 60,000 years to have developed all the things that have been happening. Where they came from is also under debate, although coming from the north across the Bering Straits from Asia, which doesn't mean they were all Asian, because there was different waves of migration. When the Spanish got here in 1542, a guy named Cordeiro. You ever heard of Cordeiro Beach? Well, they named it after that guy. They should have named it Tongva Beach for the people that lived here. Although there are places in Los Angeles that have native names. Topagna. Oh, they misspelled it. They call it Topanga, but it was Topagna. Long Beach was called Povugna. Cool, huh? Cahuenga Boulevard. Oh, I'm sorry. Cahuenga Boulevard in Hollywood. It was actually Cahuenga. This is what I understand right now. Catalina Island, it didn't have a Spanish name, Catalina. It was called Pimo. They're discovering more and more about this every day, and it's a beautiful culture. I'm outreaching on their behalf only because their ancestry is part of our Mexican ancestry, because their language is part of our has our roots in it. So let's move on. You know that there's voice, string instruments, percussions, which make noises and scratching and sounds, right? And then there are the wind instruments. Let me show you those guys, where we could talk all day about this. I have a really great workshop for teachers that aren't, or even just regular people. Go to your place, and when all this is happening, and we can do this like an hour to 2 hours, and it's always changeable. In schools, it's 2 one-hour sessions or 2 45-minute sessions, whatever. Let me show you the wind instruments. They're very cool. They didn't have a lot of stuff. They had very, very simple stuff that we know of. You get a piece of elderberry and you plug it with asphalt. Where do they get asphalt? It sometimes comes up on different parts of the beach. It oozes out of the ground in places like Bakersfield, and you just plug it up. It's like tar. Put a little in there and divert the air so it comes out. Check this out. This is a bear whistle. That's what I was told by my friend Jackie Nunez, the great California storyteller. And I like to ask my students this crazy questions. We're not going to get too far into it, but I'll be in schools, right? And I'll be going, why do they call it a bear whistle? To call the bears. Do you really want to call a bear? No. So why do they call it a bear whistle? Yes. Why do you want to call it a bear whistle? Because it scares the bears away. Okay, big bears in your backyard eating your cat food, and you go, and the bear goes, ah! I don't think so. I know why. Why? Because it makes the sound of a bear. Okay, you're in the forest and a big bear comes at you and he goes, I don't think so. What this is a warning device. When parents would say, you know how parents always want to see you wherever you go, right? Can't be out of your sight, out of their sight. So they say, here, take the phone and call. Well, they didn't have phones. So they said, take the bear whistle with you, all you guys. And if you see a bear, because we can't see you, if you see a bear, call us. Back then, when there were no airplanes and cars and all this noise that we have, you don't realize it, but it's very, very noisy. When that noise was never around, this sound would travel for miles. So they would say, hey, did you hear that? The kids are in danger. Let's go scare the bear away and bring the kids back home. So it's a warning device. Sometimes it was used in dance. You may see some of the natives dressed up in their outfits like that. Sound always is supposed to be an extra human thing. If we can make sound, we are making sounds from the beyond, from the universe. That's how most people think of it in most cultures. I got 4 of them and put them together. Check it out. Now this instrument is not like this one. Let me show you. It's not like the panpipe, because the panpipe you blow across it. Okay? This one has whistle holes. It's like a whistle. In other words, it's like a flute. See? So let me play it. And I tied it with a rock that I got from Santa Monica on the beach. A long time ago, I used to see these rocks all over the beach when we were kids, but people took them all, I guess. And then, so we had the bear whistle, a lot of whistles. Basically whistles and flutes, that's all they really had. And they would sometimes use seashell trumpets, but you might say, Martin, those big seashells, those big sea snails don't live in California. Well, I know that, but they had this thing called trade, and sometimes the Pochteca traders, that's what they call them, Pochteca, it would come from Mexico up here. That's why you see those teachers, if you know those drawings of Cocopelli over in the desert between Mexico and the U.S., those are signs of, those are traders. They're carrying a back load and they're playing a flute so they can be recognized. Anyway, the Pochtecas would bring things from Mexico or from down there up here. So they did find seashells, big ones here. These are little seed pods that come from a tree. Check it out. If I clean the inside out, always, if you're gonna blow it out, close your eye. That way you get the junk out, okay? And you could use anything that's hollow and you blow across it. Don't blow into it. You blow into it, you get nothing. Blow across it, like the panpipe, you get this. Why do they sound different, Martin? Because the little ones are high and the big ones sound lower. That's the first thing to know. Same thing as the panpipe. Look, we'll use this instrument as a good example. The long notes are low. The little ones are high. Notice how here. Which is the long note? See right there, lower, higher, higher, and higher. Plus, these can also be used as warning devices or calling when your voice can't reach. This, I like to call it the party flute because it's the loud one. And this was copied off an instrument that I saw that was 129 years old. Cool, huh? Hear the birds and the water? I recorded those birds in Central California at a hot spring, and the water in San Dimas. I put it together, and I have a CD that's it's music that's downloadable on my website, www.martinespino.com. And you go there and you click on merchandise, and the CD is, you can download the music for $5, and it's great to have in background. 30 minutes of just nonstop birds and this flutes, different flutes playing. You'll see the credits at the end of the video. Let me go ahead and play something for you, okay? Let me show you one more flute. I like to call this one the love flute because it's very, very quiet. The mouthpiece is different. See how I blow here? The air goes up under this wood and goes out. There's a little slit that lets the air out, and it hits the bottom of the smile here, and it makes the air split. When the air splits, the flute vibrates. Big scientific description, huh? This one's weird. He has totally hollow. And I have to really make my lips really tight so that right here is the same hole as that one. But the sound is very different. Check it out. It's a little hard to play, so please be patient. Beautiful, huh? I want to teach you a song real quick. It's really nice piece. Say iye iye. Now say ahungu wa. Now we're gonna put it together. Iye iye ahungu wa. Iye iye ahungu wa. Ahungu wa. Ahungu wa. Aha. Aha. Now I'm going to put some music to it, okay? This is a welcome song. They don't know what the words mean because the song is so old. Some of these bird songs, as I say, remember I said that they believe their songs are just as beautiful as the birds. These bird songs may be 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 years old. We don't know, and that's the best guess. So let me go ahead and play this, okay? Iye, iye, ahungua. Hiya, hiya, ahungua. Iye, iye, ahungua. 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 Aha, aha. So I want you to echo with me, okay? Let's try it again, okay? I'll go iye, iye, ahungua, and you guys go iye, iye, ahungua. Try it, try it, try it. It's beautiful, okay? Iye, iye, ahungua. Iye, iye, ahungua. Iye, iye, ahungua. 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 Aha. Uh-huh. 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 That's one of the traditional endings. It basically is telling people we're tough, we're strong, we're still here. They're not gone. Beautiful song. I'm going to go ahead and do an improvisation and just put these instruments together, okay? Thank you. Well, we've heard these beautiful instruments. Let's talk about them real quick, okay? Four instruments are all over the world, okay? Voice in all its different languages. Instruments with strings or stringed instruments. What they call wind instruments. I've never liked that word, but my college professor said, Martin, that's the word they use. Because I said, what do? Go out and hold it in the wind? You have to blow into it. And I don't blow wind, I blow air. So is it an air instrument? I don't know. So we use the word wind instruments, okay? So voice, strings, winds, and the last one is percussion. That means to hit, scratch, or shake. And I hope you enjoyed this little trip. 60,000 years of culture in a half hour, no problem. Would love to come to your school. You can always write to me and contact me directly from my website. You'll see it at the bottom of the film below. And don't forget, why do I do this? Because we want to learn something. Yeah, but I want you to see how other people live so that you don't go, they speak weird languages, they eat weird food, they have funny names. Nobody does. We just have different languages. And we have to learn that that's okay. Because that's how a lot of these arguments and fights and things start. Somebody says something about you, and you want to be cool with everybody. So I believe in peace and love and all that stuff. Love, at one time one of my students says, love, and I said, well, what do you want, hate? He goes, no. And I said, what's love? Doesn't mean get married. I'm talking about care about other people. Be nice to other people. So be nice to yourself and learn something about where your roots are from. Where are your ancestors from? Who are you? Eat that food. Try a new word in the language of your ancestors. Try those outfits. Listen to the music. I don't know where to find it. You go on that thing called YouTube's everything. YouTube, look up Korean native music. Click. Oh my gosh, cool. Scandinavian folk music. F-O-L-K. That means people music, okay? Folk or folkloric. Mexican folk music. Or just put in music, Mexican music. The only problem I have with that is you put in Mexican music or American music, you're going to get rock and roll or jazz or hip hop. And we need to see beyond that. There's more. Okay? Open your mind. Try everything out. Take care of yourself. Thank you much. Be good. Stay safe. I'll play for you.